Hi everyone, it's Lisa here. First things first, before I get into today's video, I wanted to first of all apologize. I totally thought I drew a winner for my February mixed media kit. This is the Mix Your Media kit from Wendy, and I was going to do a giveaway. Totally thought I did. I have to apologize. Not that I'm going to make any excuses, but I kind of am. I wasn't sleeping at all. With the puppy, he was getting up at 4:30, and then I get up at 6. So, you know, it would have been better if he got up at 3, because then you get at least maybe an hour worth of sleep by the time you fall back asleep, and then at 4:30 you just don't. So, long story short, I've been very sleep deprived, and I'm feeling a lot better, but I wanted to apologize. So the Mix Your Media kit is still here. It's in the package. So for the winner, if you could PM me through Facebook, through YouTube, however you want to message me, and I will get your package out immediately. So that way you get it right away. So I have all the names in here. I'm just going to draw a name. This one looks good, and it is Tara Marion. She goes, I love this kit. I can see an awesome mixed media canvas. So this is Tara's comment right here. So Tara, if you could please PM me right away, and I promise I will get it out to you really, really fast. So as for today's video, we are going to talk about art journaling. I actually got this question asked to me by, I think her name's Bettina. I hope that's right. It's Bettina. And she asked me about taking some Donna Downey classes, and she really is interested in starting art journaling, and she wants to kind of know where to start. And she's seen me do some of the Donna Downey shares and stuff like that. And she wanted to know if the price was included in the cost of the online class, like for the supplies. And it's not. So I think it's like $199 for one semester, and the supplies aren't included. So I told her that it's very expensive to start off. Like if you are following Donna Downey, it gets very expensive to start off. Now, as you go along, because you're going to be buying, it's like the same products kind of like being used over and over again, your cost for buying the supplies starts to drop. Now, do you have to start out that expensive? Absolutely not. I didn't. So, I think there's ways you can art journal without spending a lot of money. So for the next few days, hopefully every day, I will put a video out kind of like giving you guys a little bit of insight as to art journaling, like where to start, what do you need, kind of like the things that I have been using that I recommend. So first things first, we are going to talk about the journal itself. So this is just a disclaimer. Like, I know Vicky, I don't remember. She's got like a super long name. I'll see if I can remember to put a link for her channel below. She does really good art journals, and she just did one on her favorite supplies for art journaling. So if you want to like kind of, see somebody else's perspective on supplies that, she recommends, that's another one. That's the thing with art journaling. It is all a matter of preference. There is no right way, there's no wrong way. There is, it's just a matter of how you feel art journaling is. So, what I think or what I like is not going to be what you like or what you use. Like you could do it on canvases, you could do it on books. So, we're going to break this down. I'm going to break it completely down. So today we're going to talk about books. Tomorrow we're going to start talking about other supplies. I did make a list. I'm just going to pull it up here. So some of the things that we're going to talk about is we are going to talk about your books. We're going to talk about gesso and other mediums that I recommend that you get. Not to say that you need them, but it's just a recommendation. Some tools, as well as, I call it color, which that will be a whole other, might even be divided up. will be color, like whether it's paint, sprays, etc., stamps, pens, and then anything that is going to go on your background. So we are going to totally break this down. I'm going to hopefully go over this, I'm hoping by a week. So I hope 7 days of progressive videos, and you should be able to get quite a few answers. So with that being said, I'm just going to move my little notes down. We are going to talk about the art journal book today. There's like 1,000 books that you can use. There's specific books that you can use, and there's a ton of different sizes. So where do you even start? Where do you begin? So I recommend that you I recommend that you try it out first. So don't invest a lot of money if you're not sure if it's something that you're going to use. So for example, I started off with this tiny little Dilutions journal, and I believe it is 5 by 8.5. Oops, let me grab my ruler here. So it is 5 by 8 is actually the actual, like, this page size. So when you open it up, it's actually 10 by 8. So it is kind of a nice size to work with. So if you're not really sure, or you feel like a bigger canvas is hard to work with, then I recommend going with something like that. These Dilutions journals you can find pretty easily. They are usually found in Hobby Lobby, Joann's. I don't have that up in Canada, so I actually got mine from Simon Says Stamp. But I know there's some art stores like Wendy, who is W Squared Scrapbooking. She has the Dilutions journals. So that is for a smaller canvas if you want to work with something like that. The other thing is you don't have to spend a lot of money on journals. So this is a really nice journal. I think it's roughly-ish $20. I'm just guessing. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, and that's Canada prices, not US prices. I picked up this book from Walmart, and this is a coil bound book. That's the other thing, is there's coil bound or there's the actual bound books. So this one, you can see, like, there's no coil in there. It's just a straight page. So these ones are coil bound. This is a sketchbook. So I think this was like, I don't know, $30, or not even $30. I think it was $12. And the thing to remember is the pages are thinner because it is a sketchbook. Do you need to use, special paper? You can if you want, but you don't have to. You can use whatever you feel necessary. So what I wanted to show you is, I'm just flipping through. When you use mediums on your pages, they're going to get thick. So you don't need to have like 140-pound paper, watercolor paper, to hold all that medium, because the more layers you put on top, the more glue, the more background images, it's going to get thick. So if I show you, this is like sketch paper, and it's relatively thin. I'm trying to get to one that's a little bit thicker here. You can hear it sticking. That's the paint. So if I show you, I know there's a page back here that's ripping. Let me find it. Right here. This page ripped. That's not going to stop me, because I can take masking tape and tape it on the front and the back, and then put gesso over top, and then that's going to really hold it quite well. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. So this is I believe, an 8.5 by 11 sketchbook. Again, it's a thinner paper, but it's all a matter of preference. So it's just something that you're going to have to play with. So I recommend playing with different books. That's why I have so many, is I like to play in different books and see what results I get. So then the next biggest book I have is the Dilutions book, which this is one I'm using for my 48 weeks. And again, you can see like these pages get uber thick with all of the product that's on, and they start to feel like leather. That's the best way I can explain it, is they get very pliable. So this one is, let me just get a ruler out here. Your inner pages are 8 by 11 and a quarter by the looks of it. So these are pretty readily available. They're a really nice book. The nice thing with them is, again, this is what I use for my 48 weeks. Is these are meant for using the dilution sprays. So you can get effects like this on your pages. Here's another good one. This one is using the sprays on the background, and you can get that really kind of ghosting look, and it really only works with this kind of paper or watercolor paper. I have used it on a canvas with absorbent ground on top of it, and it did that ghosting technique. So it is possible to do it without these books. You might just have to find a medium that will help you get those results. So then this is again the large dilutions book. This one has a sticker on it, $24.99 from Hobby Lobby. So again, you're going to have to check your pricing from the stores that you're going to purchase it from. I know I can get them in Canada for a little bit more than that, and I know Wendy has these, I do believe. At least she did the other day. If you are like, well, I want something bigger, I want to create, sometimes it's nice to have a bigger canvas to work in. It makes you feel like you have more room to kind of stretch out and play with your supplies a little bit more. So I have this big book, which this is what I've been using in, and it is a bound book. And you can see by the spine, it's starting to get really thick. So I've been cutting out pages, which I did on one of my most recent art journal books. And you can see you have quite a big canvas to work in. This is an 11 by 14, so it's 14 inches tall, 11 inches wide. So I have 22 by 14 inches to play with here. And it's a lot of canvas to play with. Sometimes I don't feel like I have too much room to make up. This is my favorite one, by the way. And so that's the other thing is, of course, the bigger book you have, the more product however, more space you're going to have to fill. It just depends on what you're interested in. So you can see this is why I have so many journals is, for one, I'll be playing in one and I have to let something dry, so I'll move on to another one. This is another option for you if you're looking for the same thing in a coil bound. I should also mention this is a sketchbook, so this does not have the thicker weight that this book will. This is 98-pound paper, and it's a mixed media canvas. This is just sketch paper, so it is quite a bit thinner. So I do run the risk of it either ripping or tearing or the stuff bleeding through, but I honestly really don't care for the price and for how I can play in it. It just doesn't bother me. So this is again the other option. I got this from an art store, and it's $16. The retail price is actually $25.25, but they give you their discount price, which is $16, and it's full of 60 sheets. And this is 90-pound paper. It's a little thicker than the sketchbook paper. I can feel the difference. I know. I wish you could feel it. Can you feel that? But that is another option for you to try, is if you want something bigger but you want something coil. The nice thing with the coil, as I should mention, is I can get it to lay really flat Whereas when I get to something like this bound book, when I open it, this is an actual lay flat book, so it will lay flat. Like if I go like that, it will lay pretty flat. So, you know, that is another thing to look at. But if I show you this Dilutions book, which you can see is already, it's quite thick. You can see if I have something here, it's already like bowing, if that makes sense. Like this page is curling here and this page is curling here. So you're not going to get that nice even surface to work in. So that's another thing you might want to think about when you're picking a book. It's again preference. It's just a matter of what you want to do. But if I showed you the same Dilutions journal, which I just use Dilutions in, you can see that the pages in this one are laying quite a bit flatter because I don't have as much dimension in this book. So again, food for thought. So those are some of the other books that you can use. There is other options. So you could also even just get watercolor paper, which I said, you know, you don't need to. But if you just want to try it out, these watercolor books you can get for relatively cheap. This is a 9x12. This is the Arches. This is actually like the hot press. There's cold press and then there's hot press. Hot press is smooth. If you are, I wish you could see that, but it's super smooth. There's no ridges. If you ever have struggled with the cold press watercolor paper where it's very texturized, you might want to try going to the hot press. It's very smooth. You could stamp on it, but still watercolor. The cold press, it just depends on if you want to see that texture when you are, you know, watercoloring or art journaling. I like the hot press because I like a smoother surface. So if I want to create texture, I can. But if I want it smooth, then I have to work a little harder to get it smooth on the cold press, if that makes sense. So this little pad of paper, which has 12 sheets of watercolor, I got for $10. That was on their mega sale at the art supply store. But I'm pretty sure you could pick up something like this at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. This is, I think it's 140 pound. Yes, this is 140 pound. So again, that is something that you can consider. If you are not still like, Lisa, I still don't want to invest that kind of money into buying a book, but I still want to try it out. There's a couple other things that you can try. Let me just find it. So I actually made this Dilutions. This is an actual Inspiration Wednesday book that I actually made for Sandra, so I still have to send it out. It's got the little elastic on it and the button, so that way you can close it up. And this is just using some of, I think this is actually cardstock, and then I put in some scrapbooking paper. So if you wanted to try art journaling on scrapbooking paper, you have that option. And I actually threw in Project Life cards because she's like, throw some in like the little pockets. So that is an option for you as well. I think the total cost for me to make this, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I don't want to say just in case I decide to sell these. So I wouldn't sell like this particular size. I have a couple other ones I'm playing with, but I would say you could probably, I think Donna Downey sells them for like 35 bucks, but you can make them for a lot cheaper than that. So this is an option. You could also, even if you have like a binding machine, just bind your own cardstock together and then you have your own art journal book. I did a little mini one for my mixed media kit for the month of March. I was doing a guest design spot for the Mix Your Media kit for Wendy, and I made my own little mini travel one. I thought it would be fun to put in my purse so that way I could just play with. So there's that. There's also tags. You can just play around on some tags. Like these are just shipping tags and you can just play around with those. I do have a smaller option here somewhere. It's somewhere here. So there's smaller ones if you even want to. Again, you could just even take cardstock cardstock or even scrapbooking paper and just cut it up into a certain size and just try it out. So there's lots of options for you to try. You could even take like an old book. You could take like an old, I don't know if you want to take like an old used book and just use that for your art journal book. I'm just looking at my notes to see what else I have here. I believe that's it. So there's lots of options. I'm sure once you sit and you think about it, you could even use like old magazines. Just keep in mind, like if you use a magazine, the paper is going to be a lot thinner. So you'll have to be careful there. I know you can get some of those thicker sales magazines in like in your mailer and stuff like that, and they're quite a bit thicker that you could use even those. So I think just look around. There's probably a ton of things for you to art journal with. So that's just an idea for you to get started with your actual book, product, tag, whatever it may be. So tomorrow I am going to talk about, we are going to talk about gesso and mediums. What does that all mean? So I will see you guys tomorrow for another how to get into art journaling. So I hope you join me, and I hope at the end of all this we can just make a very, very simple art journal page with stuff that we have around the house, so that way we're not investing a lot of money. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.